Hello and welcome to Yabber Yakka. Today we're talking about how to connect with people um, in terms of deep empathic connection and some of the behaviours that we're sort of perhaps looking to avoid in particular if we're wanting to create deep empathic connection. So these are sort of 9 behaviours that take us away from um, being really connected with what is going on for another person, and from another person feeling truly heard, understood, and acknowledged. So the first one is advising, because typically when people start telling us their story, we start saying, "I think you should," and actually all they're wanting is just give me some empathy. I'm having a really hard time, and I don't want to know what you think I should be doing. I just give me some empathy. Give me some empathy. So when we're advising, we're not connecting empathically with someone. And advising is okay, but it's all about what's our intention, what does the other person need, um, and if the other person has asked for advice, then that's absolutely the thing to do. The next thing that can block us from connecting deeply with other people is educating. The sorts of things that we do here is, well, of course this could turn out to be very, very positive and it's all going to be okay. And I think there's a lot to be learned from this situation. And and again, this sort of tends to disconnect us from the other person, particularly when empathy is what's required in the situation. Consoling, it wasn't your fault. Storytelling, this one. Sometimes it can be really helpful, but most of the time it's really unhelpful. Oh, that reminds me of a time when and we start talking about our own experience, when actually what the person's really looking for is some understanding and some sense of relief from the pain that they're currently experiencing through empathic listening. One-upping. That's nothing. Let me tell you about a time when shutting down. Oh, come on, cheer up. And there's lots of variations of this. So this is sort of where we don't allow space for another's unpleasant sensations because they are making us feel unsettled or uncomfortable. And so instead of allowing the space with which healing can occur, is we sort of tend to shut it down. And sort of say, oh, come on, cheer up, get on with it, pull yourself together, pull your socks up, it's all going to be okay. Interrogating. So this one, particularly if you've come from a psychology type background, is like, well, tell me about this, and when did it happen, and when did it start, and what's involved, and we're problem solving away here. This is not empathic listening. It can be incredibly helpful and incredibly useful if we're solutioning, but it's not empathic listening. Explaining. Well, I would have. And we can do this explaining in a number of ways. One is if somebody's telling us about some pain that they've experienced in relation to behaviour that we've done, then what we tend to do is we tend to jump into self-justification. And the other way we tend to do this is if somebody's telling us about something that's happening and we don't agree with the way that they've approached it, so we sort of tend to sort of explain how we would approach the situation. So again, not empathic listening, and tends to disconnect us from the speaker unless we specifically have come to some agreement that that's what's required. And then finally is sort of correcting. Oh, well, that's not how it happened. Instead of really connecting with what the other person's feeling or what they were needing, we're sort of arguing the toss, so to speak, arguing the facts, when actually what the person's wanting is they're wanting some sort of empathic connection for what they were feeling and how they were feeling and what needs of theirs weren't unmet. So these are 9 behaviours that if we really want to connect empathically with another person, that we're going to be looking to catch ourselves doing and stop ourselves from doing. So they are advising, educating, consoling, storytelling, one-upping, shutting down, interrogating, explaining and correcting. So have fun and notice all the times that you do these 9 behaviours, because you're going to find this so many of them, all so much of the time. And just notice what it is and notice what drives you, and have a little play with noticing what it would be like not to engage in one of those behaviours. Until next time, goodbye.